One of the ways Super Smash Bros. Ultimate represents characters that weren't able to make it onto the game's roster is through its spirits. These use the game's existing roster of characters, items, stages, and more to form a fight that represents the character the spirit is for. However, while most of these spirits are indeed for characters, there are a select few that actually represent objects from Smash Ultimate's various represented series. One primary example of using spirits for items is seen in the Super Mario series, which has several spirits based on the power-ups from the series. With that said though, not every power-up in the Mario series has a spirit in Smash Ultimate, so in today's episode of the Making Spirits series, I thought it would be fun to make spirits based on every power-up in the mainline Mario titles. Let me emphasize the mainline part. The spin-offs have plenty of power-ups of their own, however I just want to focus on the main power-ups for this video. There are about 70 power-ups seen in the mainline titles according to the wiki, but like I said, a few of them are already represented by spirits. Those already represented power-ups are the Super Mushroom, Fire Flower, Superstar, Metal Cap, Boo Mushroom, Rock Mushroom, Gold Flower, Super Leaf, Super Acorn, Super Bell, Super Crown, Super Hammer, and the Giga Bell. Even with that list though, we still have over 50 spirit battles to make today. As always with this series, I'll try to get my footage as close as possible to what I'm saying, though sometimes you will need to use your imagination for things that I can't recreate. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, but let's jump right into our first game. I think it makes the most sense to go in order of the game, so we're starting with Mario 3, since Super Mario Bros. Already has all of its power-ups represented. Not like that was too hard to do though. First, let's start with one of the most fun power-ups in the series, the Hammer Suit. This will be represented by Gray Mario, and he'll spawn in with the hammer item, for hopefully obvious reasons. The only items available during this fight will be hammers as well. Eventually, a Hammer Bro Assist trophy will spawn in, since the Hammer Suit is of course a reference to the enemy. The stage would be Battlefield Super Mario Maker, and it'd be stuck on the Mario 3 transformation, since that's the only game this power-up appears in. Due to the power of this item in the main game, this will be an ace or a 3-star spirit. The P-Wing is pretty easy since it's just a variation of the Super Leaf. This will be against the default Mario, however he'll have the Tanuki tail equipped. To reference this item's ability to fly forever, he'll have an increased jump height and will also fall much slower. Now since he's going to be running away from you for most of the stage, I think it'd be more interesting if you had to defeat Mario within a time limit. Finally, the stage will be the same as the last one, and this will also be an ace spirit. Also, I promise not every battle will be against Mario. The frog suit will be represented by a green Greninja because he's a frog. To reference the frog suit's ability to make swimming more bearable, Greninja will have increased movement speed. To stick with water, the stage will be Omega Delfino Plaza. As for a special condition for this fight, since it's supposed to be underwater, everyone will be given low gravity, which is used to represent underwater fights and spirits like the Blooper. This will be an advanced or 2-star spirit. The Goomba shoe was very difficult because there's surprisingly no character that looks like a giant shoe in the game. So instead what I did is I just went to the same fighter they used for the Goomba spirit, which in this case would be Donkey Kong. He'd be made green to match the shoe's color scheme and would prefer using down airs to represent the stomp of the item. This would be on the Omega Mario 3 variant of Super Mario Maker and would be a novice or 1-star spirit. And our final power-up for Mario 3 is the Tanuki suit, which I'll also be combining with the Statue Leaf since they're essentially the same thing. This would be represented by an orange Kirby, which may seem like an odd choice, but let me continue. He'd be given a Tanuki tail, and of course to reference the stone ability, he'd prefer using his down special throughout the fight, just like every 6-year-old playing Smash for the first time. There would be wind during this fight just to add a bit more challenge to it, and the stage would be 3D Land to reference the Stone Leaf. This would be an ace spirit. After Mario 3 comes not Mario World, but the often forgotten Mario Land series. I'm gonna go ahead and cover both here since there aren't many power-ups between the two games. From the original Super Mario Land, we have the Super Ball Flower. This will be represented by Black and White Mario, because the Game Boy screen is, well, Mario will prefer using neutral special since that's his closest move he has to the Super Balls. These projectiles are actually different from the Fire Flowers though, as they bounce off surfaces, so to represent that, the Pong Assist trophy will actually that's not Pong, that's Color TV Game 15. SHUT UP! The stage will be Omega Mushroomy Kingdom to represent Sarasa Land, and this would be an advanced spirit. And for our final power-up from Super Mario Land 2, we have the Carrot. This will also be Black and White Mario, however he'll have the bunny hood equipped since Mario will get bunny ears when he uses this power-up. His fall speed will also be decreased in order to reference the gliding ability of this item. I wasn't really sure what the best stage would be though, so I just went with Battlefield Mario Galaxy since you can travel to space in Mario Land 2. This would be an advanced spirit. Alright, now we've got Mario World with 3 power-ups to look at here. The Cape Feather is up first. This will be standard Mario, and he'll obviously prefer using his side special since that uses the cape. Mario will also have low gravity applied to reference the cape's gliding ability. I also thought it'd be fun to team him up with Yoshi for this battle to make this both a little more unique, and also since Yoshi debuted in Mario World alongside this power-up. The stage will be Yoshi's Island Melee, and this would be an ace spirit. For the P-Balloon, I'm going to be combining it with the Power Flower since they both do the same thing to Mario. This will be represented by Jigglypuff as she is the balloon Pokemon. To reference this power-up's ability to grow bigger, Jigglypuff will suddenly get her final smash every so often. Jigglypuff will also prefer using aerials as this is a completely air-based power-up. The stage will be the Omega Mario World variant of Super Mario Maker, and this would be an advanced spirit. Oh yeah, and the Jigglypuff will be floaty too. The Yoshi wings are a bit of a weird one to include, but I figured I might as well since it's on the wiki. Blue Yoshi will be used here and he'll have a jetpack to represent the wings. The only items available would be shells since blue Yoshis use that to fly. The stage would be Yoshi's Island Melee and he'd be a novice. Now I'm sure you all may be confused why I just used a Luigi transition considering Mario 64 is next. The reason is I also decided to cover the Mario 64 DS power-ups while we're here. Starting with the two from the original Mario 64 that didn't get a battle, we have the wing cap, and I guess the wing since it does the exact same thing. This will be represented by Mario in a jetpack. He'll also prefer using aerials due to this being air-based. The stage will be Hazardless Peach's castle since the wing cap can be found on the castle roof in Mario 64. This would be an advanced spirit. The vanish cap will be represented by Luigi, only because he's the one who gets to use the power-up in Mario 64 DS. During the fight, he'll occasionally become invisible, to reference the obscure property of this power-up to make you completely see-through. I also decided to mix up the stage a little and went with Shadow Moses Island, since I felt like it was the closest stage to Vanish Cap under the moat. This would be an advanced spirit. Now for the Mario 64 DS power-ups, I'm actually going to be combining them all into one fight since they're the Mario, Luigi, and Wario caps. This actually turned out to be one of my personal favorite spirit battles in this entire video. It'll start against Yoshi with the spicy curry item. The reason Yoshi is here is because he's the one who has the ability to choose a cap whenever he enters a stage. The spicy curry item also represents the power flower ability Yoshi can get. After he's KO'd, Mario will spawn in with the jetpack to represent the wing cap. After him comes Luigi, who will occasionally turn invisible to reference the vanish cap, and finally, after Luigi is defeated, Wario will spawn in with the metal cap equipped. I have each one come in one after another as I imagine this fight as Yoshi re-entering the stage with a new cap to try each character's ability. The stage will be Princess Peach's castle, and this would be our first legendary or 4-star spirit. Skipping over Mario Sunshine since that doesn't have any traditional power-ups, we have New Super Mario Bros. First off, we got the Mini Mushroom, which will be represented by a Mini Mario. He'll have increased speed and will also have low gravity. To reference this power-up's ability to run on water, the island transformation of Delfino Plaza will be the stage. The only items during this fight will be the Poison Mushroom, as in Smash they make Mario small instead of just straight up murdering him. This would be a novice. The Blue Shell is an absolute fan favorite and was luckily pretty easy. This will be represented by a Blue Squirtle who spams Side Special. I also decided to give him increased movement speed since this power-up is all about movement. The stage would be Hazardless Golden Plains and only shell items would spawn. This would be advanced. And our final power-up for the original New Super Mario Bros. Is the big power-up for this game, the Mega Mushroom. This will be represented by a giant Mario and the stage would be Omega Golden Plains. I can't really think of anything else to add here, but this would definitely be a legendary spirit. Now it's time for one of the biggest Mario miniseries in terms of power-ups, the Galaxy games. First off, for the Bee Mushroom, I basically just plagiarized the Honey Queen spirit. This would be a Pikachu wearing Gold's hat with beehives being the only item. I did add the condition that the floor would be sticky though to represent the honey Mario climbs when using this power-up. Other than that, this one is on Super Mario Galaxy and this would be a novice. The Rainbow Star is literally just an exact clone of the Superstar battle but on Super Mario Galaxy. Can't be bothered to be creative for basically a clone power-up. The Red Star is a little bit more unique though. This will be represented by a red cringe and she'll prefer using up special and aerials. Her jump height will be increased and she'll have low gravity to reference this item's flight abilities. This will be on Super Mario Galaxy and will be advanced. And our final power-up for the first Galaxy game is the Spring Mushroom. This will be a gray Mario with an increased jump height but slowed movement speed. Other than that though, this will be on Super Mario Galaxy and will be a novice. Brief break from the Galaxy games, we have my favorite 2D Mario game, New Super Mario Bros. Wii. First off, we have one of my favorite power-ups in the entire series, the Ice Flower. Okay, yes, I know this is technically in Galaxy first, but they act differently and I like this one better, okay? Anyway, this will be represented by Light Blue Luigi, since Mario doesn't really have a costume that fits the Ice Flower as well as this one does. Luigi will spawn with a Freezy item, and that'll also be the only item available here. The floor will be able to freeze people just to further the whole ice theming. The stage will be Battlefield Summit, and this is advanced. Alongside the Ice Flower though, we also have to talk about the very similar penguin suit. This will feature King Dedede this time since he's a penguin, and he'll also spawn with a Freezy. That will also once again be the only item. The stage will be Omega Summit this time, and instead of the floor freezing you, it'll just be slippery instead since the penguin suit is all about navigating slippery terrain. King Dedede will also have increased speed for that reason. This will be an ace spirit. But of course we have to end on the game's flagship power-up, the propeller suit. We'll also just go ahead and combine this with the propeller box since they're basically the same thing. This will feature an orange young Link that'll prefer up special and have increased jump height to reference this item's flight. Additionally, his down air will have increased power in order to reference the drill down you can do with this item. The stage will be Mushroom Kingdom U, and this would be an advanced spirit. Now it's time we finish out the Galaxy games, the Super Mario Galaxy 2. Kicking us off, we have the Cloud Flower, which will be represented by Tennis Alex. Not Tennis Steve, because that alt sucks and it should have been Tuxedo Steve. Anyway, Tuxedo Alex will have low gravity and she'll prefer placing blocks to reference the cloud placing ability. During the fight, there will also be Heavy Wind, which was often used with this power-up in Galaxy 2. Finally, the stage will be Omega Magicant because Cloud, and this would be an advanced spirit. The Spin Drill item will be represented by Roy Koopa for a few reasons. For one, many of his attacks use drills like down air, forward smash, and down throw, which is what he'll be using during the fight. As for why Roy specifically, he's the one that digs in Mario Maker 2, so I thought he was the most fitting Koopaling. He'd also spawn with the drill item and it'd also be the only one available. The stage will be Mario Galaxy once again, and this will be a novice. The rest of this game's power-ups are the 3 Yoshi fruits, so to save us a bit of time here, all 3 of these battles will be novices on Super Mario Galaxy. The Blimp fruit will be a big light blue Yoshi with low gravity and heavy wind, the Bulb Berry is a yellow Yoshi with a Nightmare Assist trophy spawning, and finally the Dash Pepper is a red Yoshi with increased movement. From one 3D Mario game into another, we have 3D Land. Starting off, we have one that I'm actually pretty surprised doesn't have a spirit considering it's an item, that being a boomerang flower. This will be wrapped by a blue Mario and he'll spawn in with a boomerang, which will also be the only item. This will take place on 3D Land and will be advanced. The Invincibility Leaf is one of the absolute most powerful power-ups in the series. This will feature wetting Mario with a Tanuki tail. He'll occasionally become invincible and there will be heavy winds as well. This will take place on 3D Land and would be a legendary spirit. And our last power-up for this game is the coin block, which will also combine with the gold block from New Super Mario Bros. 2 since they act the same. This will be represented by a gold Steve on Golden Plains since that stage is filled with coins. Really not much more to add though, so this will be a novice. New Super Mario Bros. 2 already has all of its power-ups either in the game or we've already talked about them, so we're jumping straight into New Super Mario Bros. U. The PA Acorn will be the exact same thing as a Flying Squirrel Toad battle, except he'll have low gravity to represent the infinite flight. That would be an Ace Spirit. And already onto our last power-up for this game, we have the Boost Star. For this I wanted to represent the boost mode in the original game on the Wii U. So the fight will be against Mario, but he'll be teamed with several invisible Steves that only place blocks. This of course references this mode's ability to place platforms to help Mario. The stage will be Mushroom Kingdom U of course, and this would be a novice. Alright, our last few games have been pretty short, but luckily 3D World has a ton of new power-ups to talk about. First up is the Lucky Cat Bell. This will be represented by a cat Mii brawler who is also made of gold to reference its golden statue form. The stage will be Golden Plains to reference the coins this item gives out, and this would be an Ace Spirit. Sticking with the cat stuff, the Invincibility Bell added into the Switch port would also be represented by a cat Mii brawler, though they'd occasionally become invincible. Since there's no 3D World stage, which I think is a massive shame by the way, the stage will be the first transformation of Mushroom Kingdom U. This would be a legendary spirit. As for my favorite 3D World power-up, we have to look at the Double Cherry. The fight will start against one Mario, though after a few seconds another one will spawn, then another, then another, and then another until we have 5, which is the max amount of clones you can have at once. This would be the same stage as the last and would be advanced. Our last few power-ups from 3D World are more so just items you equip. First off, the Goomba mask did seem like it was going to be pretty hard, however I think my idea here is pretty solid. This would be against 3 fighters, 2 small Donkey Kongs which are used to represent Goombas, and 1 Mario. This would represent Mario hiding amongst the Goombas and working near them without their knowledge. One could even say, he's an imposter. In order to win this fight, you would only need to defeat Mario. The stage will be Omega Mushroom Kingdom, and this would be a novice. The light box will be represented by Yellow Rob that prefers using neutral special and forward smash, since those are the moves that produce light from his eyes. On top of that, the Nightmare Assist trophy will spawn in to make the stage dark. The stage will be Luigi's Mansion, since these items are mostly found in ghost houses, and this would be a novice. The cannon box will be represented by a black King K. Rool that spams his neutral special. During the fight, only Bob-ombs will spawn as items to represent the explosion of the cannonballs. The stage will be Rainbow Cruise to represent an airship, and this would be advanced. And our final 3D World power-up is the Ice Skate. Since Goombas are found controlling these much like the Goomba Shoe, Yellow DK will be the fighter here. The floor will be slippery, and the stage would be Omega Summit, making this another novice. Since Mario Odyssey has captures instead of power-ups, our final 2 games we need to cover for this video are Mario Maker 1 and 2, which I personally consider close enough to the main series to include here. First we'll start with the Shelmet. This will be represented by... Hey, wait a minute, didn't I already cover this guy before? Yeah, that's right, I did this in the other shell power-ups in the Mario Maker Enemy Spirits video, so The Shelmet will be a dark blue Squirtle who spams side special. The stage will be Omega Great Cave Offensive, and a Thwomp will spawn since it would represent the Shelmet protecting you from above. This would be advanced. The Spiny Shelmet would be a small red Bowser who spams up special. This would take place on Battlefield Mushroom Kingdom and would also have a Thwomp spawn. This would be advanced. And our final power-up of the Shell Trio is the Drybone Shell. Drybones for Smash. This will be a white Squirtle who spams side special. The stage will be Battlefield Norfair, and the ground will be lava to represent the Drybone Shell's ability to ride on top of it. This would be advanced. Okay, now we can get to some actually new ideas. The Big Mushroom is basically the exact same as the Mega Mushroom, but Mario is slightly smaller, and the stage will be Omega Mushroom Kingdom. Okay, that one wasn't original either. The Mystery Mushroom will luckily be one that is extremely unique. So unique in fact that I'm pretty sure they would never do something like this, but I thought the idea was fun. This would be a Horde battle, but who would it be against? Well, I thought it would be fun if the Horde was made up of entirely random characters. It would fit well with the Mystery Mushroom being able to give you random characters. A lot of the Smash roster were even able to make it in as costumes in the original Mario Maker. Like I said though, I doubt they'd do this, but this is purely being creative, so hey, I like this idea. The stage will be Super Mario Maker, and this would be advanced. Sticking with the mushrooms Nintendo executed for Mario Maker 2, the weird mushroom is up next. This will be represented by Orange Luigi, as this was the closest to a slim Mario I could get. He'll have an increased jump height to represent this item's main ability outside of just being quirky. Mushrooms would be the only item here to represent how this could randomly spawn in from just a normal mushroom. The stage will be Super Mario Maker, and this would be a novice. Our final 3 power-ups all come from Mario Maker 2. The Master Sword, while technically being a Zelda item, is seen as a unique power-up in Mario Maker. This fight will begin against Mario, but once he's defeated, he'll be replaced by Toon Link in his 5th ult. The reason I went with Toon Link here is because he not only holds the Master Sword in Smash, unlike Young Link, but this costume is also based on the Link in the original Legend of Zelda. Other than that, there's not much special here. This will be on Mario Maker again, and this would be an ace. The red POW box is repped by 3 red rods, 1 for each use of the item. Each will also spawn in with a POW item, and that'll be the only item available. The stage though was a bit tricky. I went with Mario Bros as there's not only a normal POW block here, but there's also a lot of ceilings, which are required in order to activate this power-up. Other than that though, this would be a novice spirit. And for our final Mario power-up, we have the SMB2 mushroom, which will be repped by both Mario and Luigi. Since this power-up lets Mario grab things, these two will prefer using grabs and will also have stronger throws. All items during this fight will also spawn from the grass item as well, to once again reference the picking up items below them mechanic. The stage will be Mushroom Kingdom 2, and this would be an advanced spirit. But anyways, that's it for this video. Are you all mad that I didn't mention the Bullet Bill mask even though it'd be the exact same as the Bullet Bill spirit? Let me know in the comments. Honestly, this may have been the easiest episode in the series yet, despite this being the first one about objects rather than characters. Still though, I think I did a pretty good job covering most of the aspects about a lot of these, but as always, make sure to leave your ideas for these in the comments below. Also, I know this has been the 3rd Mario Spirit video in a row, however the next one will definitely be something different. I want to do one on all the masks in Majora's Mask, but I want to re-100% the game on Switch first, so that may be in a bit. I also think doing one based on Kirby and the Forgotten Land would be fun, so we'll see about that. But anyways, dry bones for Smash, and I'll see you guys next time.